Welcome you all for the course Grammar and Usage. Today we are going to have a discussion on parts of speech. Parts of speech are 8 in number in English. They are nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjection. And if you look at the definition for parts of speech indicates how the word functions in meaning as well as grammatically within the sentence. It's very important to note that meaning is very important when we write a sentence, and also we have to look into the syntax or grammatical structure of the sentence, how it is connected and how we can understand the meaning. It is based only on the grammatical structure and grammatical way of arrangements of words. And the first one we have in the list is a noun. Noun generally means naming or name of a person, place, things, or idea, and they can take on a myriad of roles in a sentence, from the subject of it all to the object of an action. And it depends. Like if you write a sentence, you need to have a noun, or else it is called as a subject, and it is also depends on the the second part, or it is called as predicate. So it is very important. They are capitalized. Nouns are usually capitalized when they are the official names of something or someone. And we have another word if there is any repetition of nouns in sentences again and again. For the second repetition, you can go with proper nouns in these cases. Example: parade, Caribbean, ship, freedom, Captain Jack Sparrow. And moving on to the next one. Next one we have pronouns. Stand in for nouns in a sentence, and also called as used in front or instead of a noun. Pronouns are used instead of a noun. They are more generic versions of nouns that refer only to people. Examples: I, you, he, she, it, ours, them, who, which, anybody, everybody, and ourselves. And verb generally addressed as or denotes a state of being or action words. So our action words that tell what happens in a sentence. They can also show a sentence, a subject's a state of being. S was, there are be form verbs, do form verbs, have form verbs, and then irregular verbs, special verbs. There, the list is endless when we talk about verbs. And the verbs change form based on tense, present and past, and count distinction like singular and plural. Verbs in number, nouns in number also that could be interpreted as. Examples: sing, dance, believe, believes, seem, to finish, eat, drink, be, become. All these are example for verbs. Moving on to the next one, adjectives. Adjectives describe nouns and pronouns. They specify which one or how much, what kind, and more. Adjectives allow readers and listeners to use their senses to imagine something more clearly. Example: hot, lazy, funny, unique, bright, beautiful, poor, smooth. Say for example, the tea is hot. The tea is very hot. He is a lazy boy. She is a funny person. She is unique. Her sari is bright. She is a beautiful girl. They are poor. The dress is smooth. So all these things, these are used to explain or describe how a noun or a pronoun is. And moving on to the next one, it is adverb. Adverbs describe verbs, adjectives, and even other adverbs. They specify when, where, how, and why something happened, and what extent or how often. So these things are examples: softly, only, hopefully, sometimes, every time. All these are examples for adverbs. And prepositions. Prepositions show spatial, temporal, and role of relations between a noun and other words in a sentence or pronoun. They come at the start of a prepositional phrase in which it contains a preposition and its objects. Examples: up, over, against, by, for, into, close to, out of, apart from. And it is very important to note that we have to, like in case if anybody wants to master in English, he has to know about the prepositions. And most probably prepositions are to be noted whenever we like make it in form of oral and also in form of written communication. And next one is conjunctions. Conjunctions like are joining words, or else it is also called as linkers, connectors. The main job of conjunctions is to join words, phrases, clauses in a sentence. There are coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, correlated conjunctions. An example: and, but, or, so, yet, with. And probably we are not supposed to begin a sentence with conjunctions. And there's an acronym called as fanboys, FANBOYS. They stand for like for, and, not, but, or, yet, so. You're not supposed to begin a sentence with any of the fanboys. That should be avoided. And please bear this in mind in order to avoid uh, like the discrepancies or the confusions in writing sentences. The next one, articles and determiners. Articles and determiners play a vital role in parts of speech, though it was not, like they were not included in the list, but we have to make a note of articles and determiners. They function like adjectives by modifying nouns, but they are different than adjectives in that they are necessary for a sentence. uh, to have proper syntax, articles and determiners specify and identify nouns, and there are indefinite and definite articles. Example: articles are a, an, and the. They also act as demonstratives. Demonstrative adjectives. Articles can also act as demonstrative adjectives. Say for example, a boy, an apple, the girl. So they talk about the numbers, the quantities of nouns or of like the subject that you talk about. So they also function as demonstrative adjectives. And determiners: these, that, these, those, enough, much, few, which, what. All these are examples for determiners. And at last we are moving on to interjections. Interjections are expressions that can stand on their own or be contained within sentences, and these words and phrases often carry strong emotions and convey reactions. So interjections also could be interpreted as non-verbal discourses or non-verbal lexicons. And in English, we just give importance for verbal communication with only 40%, and for non-verbal communication 60%. So most of our communication is based on non-verbal. So everybody can notice it if you have time in hand. Definitely you can check it out. What sort of percentage we are giving for verbal, and how many, like how much ever we are giving for like non-verbal. Most of us give importance. It is like default. We bring in non-verbal communication or non-verbal gesture or gesticulations in our communication. So that is what all these 8 parts of speech talk about. I would like to wrap it up with giving you a glimpse about all the 8 parts of speech. Noun, generally known as naming things, or naming a name of anything, anybody, any person, any place, any idea. And verb, it talks about action word or state word. And after that, pronoun, which is used instead of a noun. And then we have adverb, which describes, modifies a verb. Adjective, which is also used to describe noun and pronoun. And we have conjunctions, it is a connecting word. And next we have preposition. It is a relationship word which talks about the relationship between two nouns or either a noun and a pronoun, likewise. And at last we have interjection. Interjection is an emotional word or exclamatory that could also be added when we talk about the interjection. So how we express our feelings through some words. So all those things are like come under the category called interjection. Thank you. Thank you all.